welcome remarks on behalf of the PSC Board, can we all welcome PSC Commissioner Celia Kiram.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. To our resource speaker today, si Professor Maria Teresa Jasmines. Did I pronounce it right? And to all our participants, magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. And have you taken your lunch? I hope you have all taken your lunch, and I do hope also that you will not feel sleepy. Okay. Anyway, today we will be having a very good topic for you. Anyway, on behalf of the Philippine Sports Commission and the Board of Commissioners, we welcome you all to this fourth episode of Sports Conversation webinar. We are happy to note that you are so interested. No, I see familiar faces for your continuous interest in learning the multifaceted aspect of sports, which we in PSC are striving to share with you for the betterment of the Philippine sports. We know for a fact that all of you are sports practitioners and stakeholders that has a hand in developing potential sports as well as athletes in your community. Today's topic is a very interesting and important subject matter. We hope that the knowledge that you will learn today will be useful in your sports endeavor. Bear in mind that there is such a sports marketing that can assist you to operate, enable, and grow long-term revenue streams to support your sports programs and activities. Again, our warmest welcome to all. Stay tuned for 2 hours. Keep safe, and peace be with you all. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat po, Commissioner Celia Kiram, and I hope tama sa sinabi ni Commissioner, no, everyone will tune in for 2 hours. Maraming salamat po again. And also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our Executive Director, Attorney Guillermo Iroy, who's also with us. Attorney, magandang hapon po, moderator. And to help us on that matter, kami po ay nag-ask ng tulong ng one of the PSC's long-time partner, long-time sports media partner po. She is sports radio anchor at the Philippine Broadcasting Service, PBS, and Radyo Pilipinas 2, formerly known as the DZSR Sports Radio. She's been a part of that for over 30 years, and she also hosted the PSC radio program for 12 years. And syempre, hindi po mawawala. She has covered Team Philippines in 5 Asian Games and several Asian indoor and beach games, and also Southeast Asian Games. Help me in welcoming our moderator for this lecture, Miss Judith Karingal. Hello, ma'am. Magandang hapon po sa inyo.
Okay. Hi, Josh.
Hello po. Magandang hapon.
Yeah. Magandang hapon. Good afternoon po sa lahat, especially to our top sports officials, Commissioner Celia Kiram, and Executive Director Attorney Iroy. At sa lahat po, lalo na sa ating guest speaker, I am very blessed to be with you all as a moderator and at the same time a participant of this very important event. I know we are all excited for the fourth session of the first phase of the PSC National Sports Summit, which focuses on a very interesting topic, and that's the value of sports marketing. Let's see how our sports stakeholders, beginning from the grassroots level to the NSAs, and of course to the elite and professional level, would benefit from this. Our speaker will take us to the world of sports marketing. She will give us the definition of sports marketing, why sports marketing is a game changer, and she will also share with us some expressions of sports marketing, the 3 major players of sports marketing, the benefits of sports marketing for sponsors, the organization, the sport itself, the fans, and media. And she will cite examples of how sports marketing changed the game, the specifics on how to do sports marketing, and of course, steps to get sponsorships. This and more in today's session of our PSC National Sports Summit. Our resource speaker is an A1 expert and specialist who has amassed vast knowledge and many years of experience in sports marketing and public relations. She is one of the first women sports writers in the country who ventured into the then still exclusively male profession in the 1970s. Surely most of us have or had followed her write-ups at leading newspapers and sports magazines. She was the first TV courtside reporter of the UAAP back in 1990s. She was once also a member of my sports radio family alongside the late Miss Beth Celis. She served as Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at the University of the Philippines, Diliman from 1995 to 2005. She is a professor of journalism at UP College of Mass Communications, where she also earned her master's degree. She runs her own PR company, Lark and Asset PR Consultants, whose projects include NBA events, One Championship, of course, the UAAP, and many others. So, it's an honor to welcome our distinguished guest speaker, Professor Teresa Tessa Hasmines. Good afternoon, Professor Tessa.
Miss Judith, nice to see you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Start na ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much for that very, very complete and pinabonggang introduction. So, hello po sa inyong lahat. Binabati ko po kayo ng isang magandang hapon. Commissioner Kiram, PSC officials, and the COM team of the PSC, lalo na po kayong mga nag-register today. So, first of all, ang ginawa ko pong title ng ating session today na tungkol sa the value of sports marketing is Change the Game. Kasi itong sports marketing ay pwede nating gamitin para ma-level up natin ang ating sport or ang ating team or an athlete for that matter. So, more or less, ito po yung menu natin sa araw na ito. More or less lang kasi hindi ko naman talaga simple dyan ng todo-todo. So, first of all, I'm so happy muna and honored to be involved in this summit. So, thank you to Chairman Ramirez for the invitation and Ms. Judith Karinga for the great introduction and the kind and competent staff of PSC for their guidance. I hope that I can shed enough light on the topic today. As we all know, government through the PSC is very generous and it's always there to help NSAs, sports entities, and athletes. But government funds are also finite. It wouldn't hurt if those who need funds learn how to be creative and find ways to help themselves. One of the ways is for the NSA, league, school, team, or athlete to find ways to raise funds on their own. As they say, God helps those who help themselves. And today I will show you how, I hope. So I'm here to talk about sports marketing, a very special kind of marketing that is focused on what we all love best, sports. So we're doing this session to open your eyes to the possibility of you tapping your own resources so you can get much needed funds or facilities or other resources. We want you to learn the game of sports marketing, teach you not to fear it, make you excited about it, show you how it's done so that ultimately you can reap its benefits. So welcome to the session on the value of sports marketing. And because I'm a teacher, let's pretend that class is now in session. Let me share with you the rest of the PowerPoint. So let's begin with the concept of sports marketing and why it's the in thing to do these days. Kasi sports today is not only for athletes and hardcore sports fans. More than ever, the size, number, and types of fans has grown. They're called casual fans, and their volume is staggering. So one of the strongest influences in the huge popularity of sports and in growing the fan base is sports marketing. It has changed the game completely and has made sports relevant to more demographics than ever before. So let's go now to the definition. Here's the wiki definition of sports marketing and some explanations of what is involved in it. If you've noticed that every time you watch a sports event, you see tarps, pull-up banners, signages, uniforms, ang dami-daming logo of companies. Tapos may kiosks na nagbibigay ng free product samples or activities within the event itself na pwedeng mag-join ng fans na ini-sponsor kasi yung event kasi yon ay sponsor ng isang brand. Yon ay sports marketing. For instance, within sports events that are sponsored by Gatorade, there are mini sessions about nutrition. Nagpapaano sila nagtuturo sila about why you should always be hydrated and that water may not be enough or is not enough. So meron doon silang Gatorade kiosk, so nagbibigay sila ng free Gatorade. Same thing with Alaska. If Alaska is the sponsor, sigurado yung session about nutrition and the value of milk for growing children. Or kung meron namang mga contest on who can shoot, run, and lay up the fastest, usually kinukuha yan ng mga brands like Phoenix Petroleum. Kasi they're all about speed. They're all about mobility. So there are so many things that a sponsor can do within a sports event or season. And so many things then that the NSA team, school, or league can also offer a sponsor. Like ad space, for instance. Or kung nakakuha kayo ng TV coverage, airtime. Or yung mismo mga atleta, ginagamit din sila ng mga sponsors for nga, yung logo sila or minsan talagang straight out endorsers. You will see that in the next few slides. So eto, sports marketing nga daw is the game changer. And let's see how it changed the game. Ayan, tingnan niyo yung dalawang picture. See the difference? Siyempre, kilala natin si The Great Difference, Kaloy Saga on the upper right part. And 30 Ravenna, today's modern athlete on the left. See the difference? Bukod sa malalaking muscle ni 30, pansinin ninyo yung uniform. Si Kaloy, straight, honest, we can also call it Spartan uniforms. So, sabi nga nila, walang borloloy. Pero 30's jersey and shorts are both studded with logos. That's sports marketing. Today's uniforms have been turned into real estate actually with areas to be occupied by logos. So, sino yung unang makarenta doon? Siya yung makakakuha ng espasyo yun. But it's not really unahan, as you will find out later. It's more of the worth of the sponsorship. So the idea, bakit sila naggagawa ng ganyan, is that when the TV cameras or still cameras do a close-up of the athlete, the logos can be seen. Sponsors are willing to part with money to ride on the attention that the athlete or team is getting. Some are uncomfortable with the idea na bakit ano natin yan. Parang nawawala yung purity ng sports, no? Just like when literary authors in the past, pumontra sila sa mga journalists. Kasi daw yung mga journalists, they prostitute the English writing style. Kasi nga naman, yung mga journalists, nagsusulat ng material geared towards grade 6 level para madaling maintindihan. Pero yun mismo mga print journalists then, later on, nung na-establish na journalism, initially also resented bloggers, and podcasters who are all around us today. Kasi nga, na-change ang game. Ayaw nila yung mga yan dahil ano daw sila, they did not go through the training and the discipline that journalists did. Pero actually, pag ngayon, practically speaking, pag naghahanap ka ng information about, let's say, a restaurant or a product, you will often look for bloggers sa Instagram nila or sa social media nila to get information and probably recommendations na napagdaanan na nila. So it's the same thing with sports marketing. It's all about change. So change is not necessarily a bad thing, but people fear change and want things to stay as they are, at least at the start. But change isn't all bad. It just takes getting used to. So are you going to love it or fear it? So ang advice ko, huwag niyong katakutan ng change. Kasi maraming may dudulot na bagong experiences and achievements for you, not just in sports, but in life. Kasi iba na yung pag nag-adjust, marunong ka mag-adjust, mas madali ka makakakope with the challenges that you face. So, yun nga, sabi nila, marketing has diluted the purity and intrinsic nature of sports. It's too commercial daw. The hoopla is all fluff. But sports marketing also helps the sport in ways that staying pure, in quotation marks, can't help it. From only a loyal band of fans, the awareness and excitement brought about by sports marketing can grow the sport by giving birth to thousands or millions of casual fans, who may later become intelligent fans of the sport the more they understand it and are exposed to it. So yung sports marketing taps into that rabid group of devoted fans that have that special connection or relationship with the game, their team, and its athletes. So that is real power. So ngayon, ang tanong, do you want your sport to be pure and no nonsense? Or do you want fans, quality recruits, facilities, resources, ticket sales, media coverage, merchandising, and overall sports development? So maybe marketing can help. So eto na, ang purist versus popular sports. Here's the comparison between the sport that does not do sports marketing and sports that does sports marketing. As some may say, puros kababawan lang yung dinadala ng commercialized sports. That's true. But yun yung unang nakaka-attract ng tao. Yung mababaw muna. Pag naging fans na sila, madidiscover na din nila yung ibang aspects ng game and baka maging hardcore, committed fans na rin sila. Which is all good because that's what you want. We want a strong and big fan base. So, kung purist sports ang pipiliin natin, of course, it has its advantages. Ako din, for a time, purist ang tingin ko sa sports eh. Ang focus mo lang doon, competition. Yung competition lang talaga. No unnecessary distractions. Emphasis only on the skills and beauty of the game. Ang fans mo, yun lang talagang sigurado ka. Yung para kayong isang tribo. Committed fans and sports officials mostly are students of the game. Pero pag ginawa mo na siyang popular, pinopularize mo na siya through, let's accept it, commercialization or sports marketing, you focus also on the competition, but you also bring in lifestyle aspects. So, tatanggapin mo na yung hoopla, yung mga halftime numbers, yung mga in-between games or pag halftime, merong mga nagsushoot ng hoop o kung ano-ano pang yung mga ginagawa nilang pang-aliw. Yun yung entertainment value para magkaroon ng bigger fan engagement. So, doon naman tayo sa fans, may hardcore ka nga din. Pero meron ka ng new fans, meron ka na rin casual fans na tinatawag na baka hindi nga nila kilala yung players eh. Baka hindi nga nila naiintindihan yung rules ng game. Pero nandun sila. Why? Kasi nasisiyahan sila sa atmosphere. And then, dahil doon, siguro naman, meron silang mga kaibigan na naiintindihan ng game, natuturuan na rin sila. Bukod sa awareness na parang they get to appreciate the actual sport more than just kung sino yung mga gwapong players, sino yung mga magagaling humataw ng bola, and so forth. So committed fans, thus fans who are personality-centered, they watch for fun and they enjoy the sideshows. So ito naman, tingnan natin yung expressions of sports marketing. You can do sports marketing, or usually, ito yung mga forms na tinitake on ng sports marketing. One is personalities. So, ito, nangangahulugan yan usually yung atleta. Pero ngayon nga, dahil sobra ng developed yung sports marketing, hindi na lang mga atleta eh. Pwede ring maging endorsers and influencers yung fans ng atleta. But nonetheless, they're all centered on personalities who can be used to endorse and influence others on the products that are sponsoring the event. Another format or another form is on-site branding. Yan yung madalas nating makita, yung mga may mga arko, may mga balloons na andun lahat yung pangalan ng sponsor. Merong tarps, may pull-up banners, kung minsan merong tao na going around na nandun din, napupush na yung brand. And of course, yan, team branding. Yan yung mga, gagamitin mo yung buong team to wear your patch or logo. So, sa NBA, dati Adidas ang kanilang outfitter. Ngayon, ang kanilang outfitter is Nike. Multi-year contract yun. Malaking bayad yun dahil ang daming pwedeng gawin eh. Ang dami rin pwedeng ma-sell na products nung sponsor during the time of their partnership. And lastly, nandyan na yung naming, event ownership and activations. Yung event ownership, yan sabihin na natin, pinaka-astig at pinaka-heavy gut na sports marketing method dahil bibilin mo yung ibang event eh. So, parang kumbaga, yung Araneta Coliseum, di ba? Hindi naman siya event. Pero ang kanilang, kumbaga, malaking sponsor, Smart Communication. So they're now known not only as Araneta Coliseum, but as Smart Araneta Coliseum. So nandun yung tatak mo sa event. And I will show that to you in later slides. So ito yung samples ng personalities as endorsers. Si Manny Pacquiao for Technomarine. Ginamit ko to dahil isa daw to sa mga pinaka-wacky na ads or endorsements ni Manny Pacquiao na kitang-kita yung relo doon sa kanyang naging eye patch, no? Then of course you have LeBron James for Nike. LeBron James, by the way, is unique, has a unique relationship with Nike because his contract with them is not 5 years, 3 years renewable. It's lifetime. So, kumbaga magkadikit na yung pusod nila nung kanyang sponsor for eternity, earthly eternity for that matter. And then of course, Tom Brady here in the center, the great athlete that just won his 6-7 NFL championship with a new team, the Buccaneers, and our very own Alyssa Valdez, who is endorsing Gatorade in this particular example. Yan ang on-site branding. So notice, dito sa event na to, malayo ka pa, makikita mo nang may Alaska. Pumasok ka, marami, lahat yun, yung lahat ng pula doon, Alaska yun. Chooks to Go, meron silang biniling event. Lahat ng t-shirts, Chooks to Go, yan ang pull-up banners nila, nandyan. Ito, 24-hour Le Mans, yung Michelin naman ang nag-sponsor. So, everywhere you can put your branding. Tung sa pinaka lower left side corner, that's the Camel Motocross. So, kanila yung motocross, they can also fill the sports venue with their brand. Yan yung team branding. So, tingnan naman ninyo, don't forget the image of the lonely Kaloy Saga and his pure uniform. Compare it to the uniforms that we see today in the sports that we're watching. So in basketball, kita nyo yung FEU. Nakikita nyo yung Nike swoosh. They also accepted minor sponsors. Ganon din yung UP Fighting Maroons. Lima yung logo nila. Ang dami. 5 lang actually inaalaw ng maximum ng UAAP. So, nagiging, ano yan may custody battle, kumbaga kung sino may-ari ng mga pupunta doon sa jersey. Same thing with yun sa NCAA, between San Beda and Letran, LaSalle Volleyball, and MMA, Mixed Martial Arts. That's Kevin Bellingon from Team Lakay in one championship. Tingnan niyo yung shorts niya. Mukha na siyang mukha nang printed yung shorts niya. Dahil doon sa mga may sponsors na yun. Hindi natin alam kung ano yung mga sponsorship form nila, whether it's monetary or whether it's mga bote ng cherry fur or baka tinake on nila yung training niya or whatever. So basta meron silang binahagi dyan sa mga teams na yan para ibandera yung kanilang logos and brands. But ito na yung yung event ownership and activation. Yan na yung sabi ko pinakamabigat, pinakaastig. Kasi this is the most expensive kind of sponsorship. But actually, the event partner can have its way with the event. Kahit anong i-request niya, baka pumayag yung dahil substantial yung donation. Millions yan usually. Lalo na for this, yung mga nakalagay dyan. For instance, sa Junior NBA, Alaskang ang sponsor nila dito, since 2011. And Alaska coaches are the ones who train the kids. So exposure yon for Alaska. The event place is studded with Alaska signs and collaterals. Alaska dancers perform the halftime number. Alaska Milk or Alaska Choco kiosks serve cold milk or chocolate to everyone. The event is not called Junior NBA Philippines only. It has to be Junior NBA Philippines 2019 or whatever year it is, presented by Alaska. That full name, just like what you see in the logo, appears in all the logos, press releases, collaterals, and commercials. Same thing for the others. But that sponsorship enabled the Junior NBA to expand into provinces all over the Philippines. And eventually, when Alaska itself was bought by Friesland Campina, nagkaroon ng business development dyan sometime in 2015 yata or 16. Its global presence ng NBA enabled them to include other young players from Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. In short, yung grassroots development program that did not originate in the Philippines, but sprang in the Philippines, dito sa Southeast Asia, expanded into other areas of the region because of that sponsorship. So, tignan natin ngayon kung sino yung mga players ng sports marketing. So there are 3 major players in the sports marketing game. Sponsors or marketers, the NSA, league, school, team or athlete, and the fans. Their relationship is perfect. Talagang parang made in heaven sila, made for each other. It's a perfect relationship because they all need one another. The sponsor has something to sell and needs exposure and a high impact meaningful connection with markets. The sport, which is the NSA, a league, a team, or an athlete, has those markets naman, also known as fans. And these fans are loyal, enthusiastic, diehard, and committed. So, doon naman sa third player, yung fans, the fans love it when they can see more of their favorite sport, team, or players. So, thank you to the sponsor. So, what's in it for them? What do they get out of it, out of sports marketing? For the sponsor, they reach their intended target audiences and connect with them in an intimate, fulfilling, and profitable way. For the sports organization, they get funds or they get earnings from tickets, TV rights, endorsement deals, merchandising. Because of the financial support, they can get better. If it's a team, they can recruit more quality recruits, they can go places, they can siguro renovate their gym, do all those things to make their performance better. And for the fans, they have greater awareness about the sport, the athlete. They interact with them more kasi pag may sponsor, you can bring the sport to them. Not just siguro in the metro areas, but they can even travel to the provinces dahil meron ng support. And pag magaling yung team mo, pag magaling yung sport mo, you get more of that winning feeling. And for the media, there are more stories to write, more events to cover. So, marami kang, it's symbiotic yung relationship talaga. So, here are more reasons why sponsors can't go wrong when they support sports. One, sports marketing connects brands with an existing audience and ties into moments. Importante yun yung moments yan. Magical yung mga moments na yun eh. Moments, content, and stories that they are already passionate about. Sports marketing also has the captive audience. Captive audience yung fans eh. All they need to do is look for the products and the brands that are a good fit with those fans. With those fans. And then the big plus, available yun lagi. Hindi yun nawawala ang gana o kailangan mong i-rev up parate gaya ng consumers, regular consumers na maaring magsawa sa produkto mo. Ito, bukod sa produkto mo, andun na sila sa sport mo talaga. Doon talaga captive na sila doon. Now, this is the mother of all sports marketing spectacles. Yan yung Super Bowl. So, according to CNBC, Budweiser has spent almost $240 million on Super Bowl ads over the last 10 years. Siguro more pa kasi baka luma pa yan eh. As long as sports continues to thrill hundreds of millions of people, they will continue to be prime events to deliver advertising messages. And ito pa ang isang advantage. Feeling family eh. Kaya yung marketers, okay sa kanila mag-support ng sports. Iba talaga yung culture ng sports. Parang feeling mo pamilya ka eh. Hindi ka lang band of casual consumers. You are a family because your sport or your team unites you. So, this is the unique advantage that sports marketing has over just simple marketing. The secret really is the fan. Other markets don't have the kind of love that sports fans have for the sport. The closest thing I can think of that's close to the craziness of sports fans for their sports is sneakerheads who are crazy about their Nikes, Adidas's, Under Armour, or Reeboks. But you need to spend a lot of money to be those kinds of fans para masunod mo yung luho mo dun sa craziness mo na yun. Pero sa sports, ano man ang income level mo, ano man ang educational level mo, ano man ang political affiliation mo, religion or gender, your sport unites you for that moment. Talagang together kayo. So now I will present you 2 case studies of how sports marketing help. Ito, babalik na. Sorry kayo, ito lang ang lagi kong binabalikan dahil talagang sobrang na-involve ako dito and ano siya, perfect yung kanyang paggamit ng sports marketing. So when it started in 2007, dito lang siya sa Metro Manila only targeted 16 schools. Since then, since 2007, ano kasi ito hanggang 2019 It has expanded to North Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, and thousands of kids, coaches, and parents have been involved, including sa municipality. So the program has now reached more than 1.5 million children, parents, and coaches across Southeast Asia through camps, clinics, and NBA Cares community outreach activities. And it aims to reach 5 million children by 2020. Let me be more specific about how the sponsorship helped. Noong una, 2007, walang sponsor noon. Noong 2008, 2009, may dumating silang sponsor. Excuse me. Yun yung HighSmart. HighSmart is the competitor of Cherryfer, pampatangkad ng bata. So tamang-tama siyang sponsor ng Junior NBA kasi maliliit na bata ang tinatarget nito from 10 to 14 years old. So, nung nagkaroon sila ng sponsor na Cherryfer, it helped bring the Junior NBA to Cebu in 2009 and to Davao in 2010. Pero, nagbibitingan after 3 years And in 2011, pumasok na yung Alaska. And it changed the game. The Junior NBA expanded to Bacolod, Iloilo, Palawan, Cagayan de Oro, Baguio, Pangasinan, etc. The grassroots basketball program of the NBA grew and was able to impact and develop thousands of young ballers. Coaches of the Year were selected also, and it produced big names in collegiate and professional basketball. So Aljon Mariano and Kiefer Ravena were the first Junior NBA All-Stars in 2007. Later on, the Junior NBA produced players like PBA players na rin yung iba dito Kib Montalvo, Aljun Melesio, Mark Talio, Richie Rivero, Terdy Ravena, Kobe Paras, Tyler Tio, Gian Mamuya of Ateneo, and RK Ilagan of San Sebastian, to name a few. The fact that Alaska signed a 9-year contract with the NBA, ibig sabihin, twice sila nag-renew kasi every 3 years nga lang Twice sila nag-renew to show that they signed that long a contract term with the NBA proves that it was happy with the results of the partnership. So at this point, mag-request ako dun sa mga angels ng PSC to play a video of the action in the Junior NBA.
Kilala na ang mga magigiting na pambato ng Pilipinas sa darating na Asian leg ng Junior NBA All-Star Game. Silipin natin ang mga paghahandaang ginagawa ng team para sa darating na kompetisyon sa report na ito.
Matapos ang ilang buwan sa salaan, kumpleto na ang mga miyembro ng Junior NBA All-Star Team. Ngunit bago napili ang 16 na kalahok, isang intense na 3-day national training camp ang kanilang pinagdaanan.
Nandito tayo ngayon sa Music Hall sa Mall of Asia para sa 2017 Junior NBA National Training Camp. Moment of truth na po para sa top 20 boys campers at top 20 girls campers na sumasabak sa aksyon ngayon para sa pagkakataong maging bahagi ng Junior NBA All-Star Team.
3 araw mistulang magkakalaban ang mga piling-piling bata mula pa sa iba't ibang probinsya tulad ng Cagayan de Oro, Cebu at Davao.
We have 33,000 kids and coaches who participated this year, which is a record number for us, from 45 cities and municipalities from all over the Philippines.
Sa pangunguna ni NBA rising star Elfrid Payton at WNBA Hall of Famer Sue Wicks, minatyagang mabuti ang kasali upang masukat ang level ng kanilang fundamental basketball skills.
It's been great to get out here with these kids, learning from them, trying to teach them as much as I can.
The kids worked so hard, showed us great basketball, so it's been out of this world.
Si Echo Laure, masaya na nakapasok sa All-Star team. Matinding inspirasyon ni Echo ang kanyang tatay, ang dating professional basketball player na si Eddie Laure.
Tears of joy kasi siya. Hindi lang po dahil sa kay daddy kaya kasi po pinaghirapan ko po talaga yun.
May advice naman ang female MVP na si Bonnie Solis para sa lahat ng mga babaeng basketball aspirants.
Trabaho lang ng mabuti, makinig sa coach.
Samantala, narito ang kumpletong listahan ng mga miyembro ng Junior NBA All-Star Team sa taong ito. Sa Oktubre na sasabak sa Asian leg ng kompetisyon ng All-Star Team at pangako ng mga bata, handa na silang iwagayway ang bandila ng Pilipinas sa Southeast Asia. Anton Rojas, ABS-CBN News.
Okay. So, yun ang nangyayari sa Junior NBA. Kumukuha sila ng mga bata sa grassroots, nagkakaroon ng regional selection camp sa mga probinsya. Pumipili ng best from each province, tapos magko-compete sila dun sa national training camp. At from there, sa national training camp, pipili ng all-stars. At yung all-stars na yon ang hahataw sa Southeast Asia. So let me bring you naman to the other case study, which is the UP Fighting Maroons or the UP MBT. Walang marketing ito nung araw. Kasi walang pumapansin dyan. Dahil laging talo, meron nga 2 winless seasons. So they endured hardships, humiliation, and dismal failures in the UAAP. Until alumni got together, put up a marketing plan, and did rescue operations in 2014. So, unti-unti, from 2014 to the present, the team got key recruits, received foreign training, upgraded facilities, and more because of sponsor support. So, itong mga brands na nakita nyo sa baba, these mostly, lahat yan, may UP alumni dyan. Turo ko sa inyo mamaya kung paano mag-start ng marketing effort nyo eh. And your first targets will be yung may kakilala kayo. So, yan, lahat ng yan, may UP alumni. Except for one. Merong isa dyan na hindi taga-UP. And I will share that with you ngayon na. So, dun sa na nga yan, nasuportahan lahat ng needs ng team, na reap yung rewards. Tapos, paakyat lahat ng kanilang hindi na sila yung gumanong-ganon, talagang upward yung trajectory ng development ng team dahil dun sa sponsorship. Ang high point nila, sila yung naging media darling ng season 81 kasi for the first time in 32 years, nakarating sila sa UAAP basketball final. So, what can we learn from this? Maybe one thing to remember is, if you want to get sponsors, you must also show good performance or at least the promise of good performance. Yung UP Fighting Maroons, nung first time nag-marketing yung Nowhere to Go But Up, yun yung alumni group, they approached only all alumni. Siguro naawa lang talaga yung alumni, lalo na si Robina Gokongwei of Robinsons, who came in 2014, right after the last winless season. And since then, up to now, nagsusupport si Miss Robina. But after the sponsors came, dumadami-dami na sila kasi nga gumaganda na yung performance nila. The players also showed that they were worth fighting for and spending money on. They got better and better every year. Later on, sponsors came knocking at the door. Hindi na mahirap humanap ng tutulong. Everybody loves a winner talaga kasi. So meron lang sponsor ang UP na hindi taga-UP, kundi taga-Ateneo. Yan yung Januarius Holdings. Atenista ang may-ari niyan. At wala lang ako mahanap na logo ng actual brand na nag-sponsor ng team. Yung pangalan niya ay Stats. STATS. Ano siya? Outfitter. Gumagawa siya ng mga athleisure products. Parang Adidas, local Nike. So yung itong Januarius Holdings Inc. na to, ang kanyang si Mr. JJ Atencio, isa siyang Atenista. Pero basta bumilib lang daw siya sa UP, sa ginagawa ng UP, kaya sa storya niya, na parang Cinderella story eh. At gusto niyang makatulong dahil yung business daw niya, nag-identify siya dun sa UP team. Para daw UP ang storya. Underdog, walang kumapansin. Tapos, pursigido lang talaga at narating din ang tugatog ng tagumpay. Siya yon. In the case of UP, almost pa lang. This sponsor, si Mr. Atencio, took care or takes care of the team training and enabled this public school team to train in Las Vegas, Serbia, and Japan. Millions ang ginakasta nila doon for that trip. Whole trip yun eh. Coaches, coaching staff, players, saka yung sariling media ng team. Ngayon nga, nag-aaway-away na yung mga sponsors kung sinong logo ilalagay sa jersey. Unfortunately nga, gaya ng sabi ko, the UAAP only allows 5 logos total on the shirt. So, syempre, pag mas malaki ang suporta, nandun ka sa jersey. Yun yung mga level up o mga iba-ibang levels ng sponsor. So now let's learn how to do sports marketing. From the point of view of the sponsor muna tayo. For the sponsor, marketing goals. First, you have to fine-tune your market. Hahanap ka ng good fit with your product or service. So for Alaska, perfect nga yung Junior NBA kasi it's all about kids. Perfect din ang Red Bull for extreme sports kasi pang-adrenaline, ang adrenaline rush yung produkto nila. The sponsor can take the initiative then and look for something to support. Hindi lang yung sport, hindi lang yung organization, hindi lang yung NSA ang laging nag-initiate nun. Pwede rin yung sponsor mismo ang maghanap ng susuportahan nila. So, tapos once nakahanap na yung sponsor ng tamang event, team, league, or NSA to support, it has to make important marketing decisions. Yan na, length and duration of the sponsorship. How long will I support? What will I support? Leg lang ba? Or series lang ba? O yung buong event? Taga-donate lang ba ako ng uniform? Pang-travel or tournament fees lang ba ako? O multi-year supporter ako? Like Nike or Adidas. Yan, sa UAAP, sabi ko sa inyo, Nike has supported Ateneo, LaSalle, and FEU for close to a decade already, if not more. And very important dito sa considerations ng marketer or sponsor is what will he get out of the partnership. Yan na yung exposure and media values. Diyan nakasalalay ang tagumpay ng pagkakaroon ninyo o natin ng sponsor. How much value and exposure will the company or brand get from the help he will give you? Marketing kasi ito eh. So quid pro quo. You will be extremely lucky if you get a patron who just gives without asking anything in return. But marketers always want to get their money's worth. So from the point of view naman of the sports org, from the point of view of the NSA, team, league, or athlete, the first requirement is to look for people or entities that seem most likely to help. Yung malalapitan, eka nga. So you start with so-called low-lying fruits. Saan ka may relationship. Usually pag school ka, you go to your alumni. Or kamag-anak mong mayaman, kamag-anak ng coach na mayaman, or someone you know who is the CEO of a company, etc. etc., etc. But you should treat it like a business. Hindi bagay yung mukhang namamalimos lang tayo lagi or nagpapaawa. Pwede rin yun, but you must show that you have something to offer them that will help them. Highlight your fan base. Highlight your athletes. Highlight and spell out the kind of exposure they will get if they support you. In short, dig deep into your vault and line up your assets. All of those you will put together in a proposal or sponsors packet kung tawagin. That is what you will present to your target sponsor. Okay, so here are 4 easy steps to get sponsors. This is what your sponsors packet will contain. Isa, an opening letter. Introduce the team, organization, and why you're seeking sponsorship. Include analytics to show companies what they'll get if they sponsor you. Example of metrics to include: foot traffic to an event, number of hits on the team's website, number of social media followers that the club has, and other relevant statistics. Include open salutations. Talagang letter form siya. Opening salutations, date, team's address, NSA's address. If you know who you are courting in the company, address the letter specifically to that person. The letter should be signed by either the club or NSA head or the president or whoever is leading the group. And then, okay, in the second step is to specify the sponsorship you are requesting. Hindi masyadong maganda yung sabi mo, we're asking for your help kasi we need funding for our team or for this sport. Ganyan. Kailangan be very specific. Sabi nila, kahit daw pag nagdadasal tayo kay Lord, mas maganda raw yung specify natin kung ano yung gusto natin kesa yung help me Lord, gano'n lang. Gano'n din dyan sa sponsor. You let them know exactly what you want. Ano ba, one-time sponsor lang ba ang ano mo? Multiple sponsors ba ang pupuntahan mo? Iba-iba, different events para mas spread out kasi baka hindi kaya ng isa. Or pag meron kang kilala na sabi nga nila, one time, big time, pwede silang mag-sponsor ng long term or naka-contract talaga. So ito, pwede ka rin you may want multiple sponsors for different purposes. So you can create a package for each that detail the price of the sponsorship level. Gold, silver, or bronze. Meron pa nga ngayong mas mataas sa gold platinum. I'll show you that later. And our guardian angels from the PSC Com team will share the document with you. Isasend nila yan sa inyo para ang gagawin na lang ninyo ay fill in the blanks. So list exactly what each sponsorship level includes. The largest package, ibig sabihin yung largest na donasyon, either platinum or gold, yun ang pinakamaraming makukuha out of the partnership. And then, okay, all right. Then step 3, introduce din ninyo yung team. Like the package should have a section about the team, organization, or league. It should include items like your mission and the values, general description of your athletes, school, city or area that you represent, the league that you play in. This may not be exact, so i-adjust na lang ninyo for your specific needs. Basta importante doon yung sino yung contact person, sino ang babalikan nila. And then, last, ayan. So, meron kayong mga binibigay dito sa packages, meron kayong ibinigay sa kanila na pwede nilang piliin kung alin dito ang gusto namin na kind of exposure namin and ano yung ma-afford namin, di ba? But then you should always leave room also for their suggestions. So you can include a portion at the end where you can ask for additional sponsorship ideas from the sponsor. Pwede mong, baka meron silang kanilang idea eh. They might have other ideas about how they would like their business represented. Instead of losing them, dahil limited lang ang options at papipiliin mo lang sila sa platinum, gold, silver, bronze, baka meron pa silang gustong mangyari iba. So, don't close your mind. Every help is valuable. Some more valuable than others, but open your mind para magkaroon ng mas maraming support. Okay? So, ito na. Nandito na tayo sa conclusion. Ang conclusion ay every NSA team or an organization should exert effort to do sports marketing. Having sponsorship funding allows athletes to focus more on the training and production of their sports and reduces stress about lack of funds for training and putting on events. At the same time, the NSA benefits from a direct financial input as well as from the endorsement provided through the sponsoring brand. In return, the brand receives huge prime exposure and exclusive revenue. Okay? So, ito na yung Para magtagumpay ang sports marketing program nyo, una muna, yan, research. Yung sinabi ko kanina, research to evaluate the right fit between product and sport. Kasi pag hindi nyo masyadong kinilala yung kakapartnerin nyo, baka magsisihan later. Diba? So kailangan, pati both sides should do research and make sure that they are both happy to work with each other and that they are both happy with the terms that are specified. So for the sport, NSA, the team, the league, study the market para din makakakita pa kayo ng possibilities, makakakita pa kayo ng mga pwedeng bagong anggulo na pwede nyo gawing lagyan ng creative spin para magbigay pa ng additional yung sponsor. And then, always have a good communication strategy in place. Hindi lang, when we say communication, we're not just talking about mass media. We're talking about coordination between the NSA or the team or the league or the athlete and the sponsor. Kailangan open yung communication and healthy siya. Yung hindi nagtataguan ng sama ng loob, ganyan. Kasi pag nagtaguan ng sama ng loob, ang balik nun, drop, wala na, tapos na lahat. So kailangan meron kayong good communication strategy, interpersonal, as well as mass media. Dapat, kasi yun ang hinahanap ng sponsor eh, yung lagi siyang nasa media, laging naka-expose. Lagi, pag gumagawa kami ng marketing evaluation after each, let's say, junior NBA or one championship program, yung sa mga media reports na ginagawa namin, bibilangin namin ilang beses na mention yung sponsor. Kasi importante sa kanila yun na ibigay mo. During this time that you supported us, your name or your logo appeared X number of times on television, X number of times in print, X number of times online, and in the social media accounts of these top influencers. Those resonate very well with the sponsor. And of course, constant and targeted PR. Kailangan ninyo ng public relations. Yung public relations, yung lahat ng, yung plano pa lang ninyo, or achievements or activities, developments, lagi nyong nilalabas sa media para nakikita ng tao na, uy, dynamic yung nangyayari dito sa sport na to, dito sa team na to. Kaya kami nga, yung mga media madalas namin imbitahin para may bagong signing ng athlete, may bagong sponsor na dumating. Kahit yun, magkakaroon ng mga media event para lang matuwa yung sponsor. Tsaka kung walang news, hahanap ka ng news. Hindi lang sa sports. Also go into lifestyle, business. Kung may esports component yan, lagay mo sa tech section ng newspapers. Go into TV interviews, radio interviews, engage yung mga alam ko, mahalang influencers. Pero kung yung athlete mismo may social media accounts, pwedeng pakiusapan nyo na ipopost niya doon yung kanyang mga sponsors, di ba? And to wrap it all up, good execution of all of these ideas and strategies. In short, putting it all together and making it all work. So, ito na tayo. Ang appendices ay ito yung mga sabi ko na i-share sa inyo para ma-apply ninyo yung ano. Yan yung sponsorship letter. Yan lang, pasensya na sa tabi niya dahil ako lang ang kumuha niya. Pero i-share daw sa inyo as we speak ng PSC. Itong sponsorship letter na to, diyan nakikita natin yung isa-show ko na lang sa inyo yung ano ha. Teka, para makita ninyo. Ayan, ito siya. So ito, lalagyan ninyo ng as much as possible kung meron kayong logo, magandang gamitin niyo dyan. As ito yung sponsor, Dear Mr. Yuchenko, Mr. Yamaha, ganyan. Good day. The blank is now competing. Ikwento ninyo yung pinagdadaanan o inaambisyon ng team. And then, lagyan nyo ng konting paramdam na, oy, hindi lang kami basta-basta. Meron kaming promise. Ito, nakapanalo kami ng 2 championships. Itong player namin, naging MVP. Siyempre, example lang yan. You adjust it to whatever circumstances you have. So, ngayon, ikwento mo rin kung para malaman nila sino ba itong mga kausap namin. Ilagay ninyo dyan yung organizational setup nyo para mapagkakatiwalaan ba namin itong mga taong to o baka naman ginagatasan lang kami nito. Mga ganong thoughts. Cast those aside with a proper introduction of who you are. Ngayon, itong particular sponsor na ito, tina-target na, gusto natin targetin syempre yung big time, di ba? So, platinum sponsor ang naano natin. Pero, sinasabi natin na kung bakit. Dahil, yung team o yung league is one of the most widely followed TV sports events. Naka-gear to sa UAAP eh. And the popularity of its players has been used as an effective marketing tool. So, mention the reach and significance of the tournament or event you're joining in this part. So, we are offering you our star players to help you maximize your brand awareness, and they are open to provide you with marketing opportunities that we can tailor to meet your needs. So, doon, pag-uusapan ninyo yan eh. Kasi matatanggap nila yung letter, pero mag-iisip na sila ngayon. Magdi-dream na rin yung mga sponsor na yan. Then they'll go back to you and say, pwede ba ibigay mo sa amin itong 2 star na to? Meron kaming fiesta dito sa ano, papuntahin natin sa fiesta dyan. Nasa sa inyo na yun. Kung merong practice, nasa coach na yan. Bahala na kayong mag-desisyon kung papayagan yung star players nito o magpa-practice muna o ipapakiusap nyo na pwede bang i-adjust natin yung schedule. Lahat na yon ay pwedeng pag-usapan. So, hindi naman all or nothing o bigay mo or else. Hindi naman ganun. Lagi nga, sabi ko nga, communication is very key and central. Tapos yon, rest assured your donation would be used for the direct benefit of the team. Ideally, mag-attachment ka pa nga ng listahan eh. Breakdown nung hinihingi mong amount. Ito pupunta sa uniforms. Ito sa tournament fees. ito sa gym rentals, ito sa vans, ganyan. The more it's broken down, the better. Kasi merong iba dyan na sasabihin sa'yo, oh, bawa Toyota yung nilapitan mo. Oh, bakit pa kayo magkaano ng vans? Bibigyan na lang namin kayo ng mga vans namin. Sila na magfe-ferry sa inyo from venue to venue. So, there, as I said, the communication helps to determine those things. So, ayan, attach the sponsorship package. May attachment pa yan. And then, maganda, after you give them the letter, mag-set din kayo ng meeting, ng one-on-one. Ngayon, hindi pwedeng face-to-face. So, wala dun yung mga dating style na, uy, pakape muna tayo. Siyempre, pampalambot ng puso yung mga pakape-kape, di ba? Pa snack-snack. Pero, virtual muna, but it still will help if you're able to meet each other virtually and discuss the fine print or the details of the sponsorship or the relationship that you want to get with them. So, lagyan ninyo lahat ng how to contact you and mag-express kayo ng hope that you're looking forward to their favorable response. So, sign sino man yung authorized signatory. Ito na yung packages. Ito ang sample. Platinum, 3 million. You can specify the actual cost. Actually, mababa yan. Kasi, hindi ko sasabihin sa inyo yung isang brand. Kung anong brand yon. Pero ang sponsorship niya for 1 year ay 33 million eh. Mga ganong kalaki. But you can get that provided you can also deliver yung hinahanap nila. So ito, 3 million lang ang hinahanap. At kailangan bigay mo sa kanila na ito yung sinasabi kong exposure, na yung values. So yung values dyan, digital marketing, sa social media accounts, pakita nyo ilan ang followers nyo. So kung wala pa kayong followers, gusto na nyong humingi ng maghanap ng sponsors, ang advice ko, i-grow muna nyo yung SOCMED accounts nyo. Padamihin nyo muna yung i-boost ninyo membership para pag lumapit kayo, meron kayong ipapakita na ito, meron kaming followers. Yun ang hinahanap nila talaga. How they can access your fans, your audience, your followers. Big thing sa kanila yan. So, ito, sa team jersey and coaching staff apparel, you can say yung logo nyo will appear there, tournament or season, hanggang off-season, kung ano-ano. Pwede mo, you can still think of others that are not here. These are just meant to whet your appetite and parang stir your creativity so that you can see what else is possible for your situation. Tapos ayan, additional sponsorship values, pwede silang mag-shoot ng Day with the Team. Yung 3M Philippines na nag-sponsor yun sa UP Fighting Maroons, nagkaroon sila ng isang company day ng Christmas. Lahat ng employees nila, special guest lang yung Maroons. Thrilled yung mga empleyado. Parang nagagamit din kasi nila for team building or ang tawag doon sa kanilang corporate setting, yung parang pinapabigyan nila ng good feeling yung mga employees. And so yung coach pwedeng mag-deliver ng mga inspirational or life coaching moments dun sa team. Yung mga ganon pwede nyo i-offer. Ayan. Anyway, makukuha naman ninyo itong document na ito. Ayan naman ang gold, a little less, 1.5 million. May corresponding din siya. And hindi ko na isa-isa yan dahil alam na ninyo saan pupunta yan. Tsaka makukuha nga naman ninyo. Silver, 500,000. You can change the amounts. Tapos meron pang patron, mababa lang. Kasi hindi naman lahat pwede, pero gusto rin makisali. So, everybody open. Kahit magbigay lang ng 50,000, sige, ticket, sa games, okay yun, maraming pumapayag lang ng ganon. So, ayan. Then, isama ninyo yung organization profile. And then, yan, who we are, what we can offer. Parang paulit-ulit pero mas detalyado to. So, yan na yung ending ng ng attachment na ito. So, next, malapit na po. Ay, yung values, nakita ninyo eh. Close up lang yan ng nandun. But those are sample values. And then, isa sample PR plan. It's very simple. Hindi naman ganyan ang itsura ng lahat ng PR plan. Pero isa ito para dun sa content plan na ginawa nung PR team ng UP Fighting Baron. So, sponsors present in the game. Bawa yung sponsors na doon sa game. Kukunan nyo ng picture, tapos ilalabas sa website, sa social media pages, gagawa ng story, and so forth. So, ganyan. Yan. Example. And, tingnan muna ninyo ng konti dahil hindi yata yan ibibigay eh. Hindi yata yan ibibigay sa inyo. So, medyo titigan nyo ng konti. And then, kasi parang hindi pwedeng i-share yata yan. Okay? So, that's it. Natapos na po ang pamamalengke natin ng sports. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po, Professor Tess Hasmines, for the very insightful discussion. Ma'am, maraming salamat po. We truly appreciate you. Hello, Ma'am Judith. Magandang hapon po.
Okay. So muli magandang hapon, Josh. And of course, all our participants, almost 450 mga participants natin for this fourth session of the PSC NSS. So before we go to our open forum, we'll have some reactions from some of our participants. So doon po sa gustong mag-react sa lecture given by Professor Tessa Hasmines, please use the raise hand button and we will call you. Sino kaya ang una na gustong magkaroon ng reactions sa napakadetalyadong lecture ni Ma'am Tessa? So let's see. Tulungan mo ako dito Joash.
All right. And Ma'am, I think we have one from Camarines Norte State College, Mr. Salvador.
So para napakaganda ng ating webinar sa ngayon and very helpful siya. Mostly for us na dito sa province na naka-stay. So we are struggling on sponsorship. Problema naming malaki yan. So binigyan tayo ng tip ni Ma'am kung paano tayo makakakuha ng sponsorship. At nagre-request po sana ako ng mga possible i-share sana sa amin, lalo na dito sa province. I-share yung mga possible na pwedeng maging sponsor ng mga companies. Yun lang po.
Okay. Salamat po, Mr. Salvador mula sa Cam Norte State College. Marami silang natutunan ngayon. At sabi niya, Josh, mag-share ng mga possible sponsors or company na pwedeng tumulong sa kanila. Sana meron. Pag meron, di ba, Josh? Mr. Louis Jean Cruz, magandang hapon po. Ano pong reaction natin?
Magandang hapon po, Ma'am Judith. Ay napaka-fruitful po nung topic ngayon. Dahil po ako po as sports coordinator, marketing graduate din po ako. Ngayon po, Ma'am, ang aking, kagaya po nung sabi natin yung kaibigan po natin nasa LGU Camarines, hindi pa po kami masyadong po diyan sa pagdating ng sponsorship. Pero naisip na po namin siyang i-apply. Itong ating naging seminar po natin ay malaki po na itulong kung paano po yung step by step.
Yes.
Tapos po ay ang akin lang po sanang hiling, madagdagan pa po ng mga, kasi dito sa amin po ang mga sponsor ay hindi pa po siya open-minded sa amin sa Batangas. Pero dahil dun sa tip saka yung mga ni-lecture po ni Ma'am Tessa, talaga pong nakakuha kami ng idea how to start coordinating, how to start communicating dun sa mga possible sponsor, tas kung paano po yung strategy, how to market their product, their establishment. Dahil as of now po, our governor is planning to improve our sports facilities, yung aming complex. at very thankful po kami sa aming governor dahil kahit in times of pandemic, gusto niya pong pagandahin at maging enterprises po yung aming sports complex. Yun nga lang po ma'am, hindi ko naman po sinasabi na kami ay kulang sa fund, pero sa tulong po ng mga sponsorship na makakausap namin, it is possible na gumanda po yung aming sports complex. Kaya po napaka gandang tulong, saka ang ganda po talaga ng sports marketing na inano ni Ma'am Tessa. Talaga po marami akong nakuhang idea, saka yung mga strategies po para po tuloy. Salamat po.
Naku, maraming salamat din po. Kabayan pala ito, Jowash, from Batangas, si Mr. Cruz. Siguro lalo na yung paggawa ng mga letter, di ba, Jowash, na detalyado kanina na na-share ni Professor Tessa. Okay, who is next? Can we still accommodate one or two more, Jowash?
I'm also representing UP Diliman. I'm a coach of the table tennis team at UP. So I want to thank Professor Tessa for the very informative, and it's really helpful na kuha ng sponsors. Ang isang question ko lang din, no, sana ma-address ni Ma'am Tessa, popular sports in the Philippines. Like me, I'm coaching table tennis. My fair share of to acquire sponsors, and fortunately able to get some sponsors, no. But minsan major sponsors like gold, platinum, or even silver. Pero in our sports, a little bit lower yung rate, no. Yung pinakita niyang sample kanina is millions na. So that probably that's for basketball. But in my case, mga 10,000, 15, 20, 25 to 30,000 yung hinihingi namin. So I would like to ask her what her tips or suggestions would be for minor sports or less popular sports in the Philippines. Kung ano pwede namin magawa para makakuha rin ng mga sponsors and ma-market din yung sport and yung mga companies na yun.
Yes, Nia. Thank you. Later we will ask Ma'am Tessa, kasi so far ngayon yung reaction dun sa lecture ni Ma'am Tessa. But of course, we will go to that next portion of our program. Jowash. Okay, so thank you so much, Neil. Okay, so there you have it. No more reaction, Jowash. We would like to remind all our participants na kung meron po kayong reaction at hindi namin kayo natawag dito, di ba? We will compile it, and of course, the PSC will process it dun nga po sa ating sinasabing data processing of this PSC National Sports Summit. Okay, so we will go to the open forum at this point. Okay, so yung po mga questions nyo. Okay, so let's say again, Professor Tessa, di ba, to answer the questions. Ang dami na po ng mga questions na gustong ibato kay Professor Tessa. Okay, so yes.
Ready po.
Ayan, ready. Professor Tessa, this is from Davao Rugby, Hilton Soberano. Any thoughts on getting sponsorship if you are not yet an established or as popular as other organizations, sports organization? Ma'am Tessa, ito ang common question, pati kanina yung kay Neil, di ba? Kung hindi pa ganun kasikat ang isang sport, paano makakakuha ng sponsorship?
Yan. Lahat nga nagdi-depend sa sports kasi kung ano yung sport na yon, dahil syempre, yung mga successful na, yun na yung mga na-market ng maayos. So, you have to be more creative. Like, nabanggit yata dito ni Sir sa sino ba?
Neil.
Table tennis.
Yes.
And then, na compared kasi to other sports, hindi masyadong, walang masyadong tawag doon, audiences.
Yes.
Talagang ano pa siya sa pure sport talaga. So, maybe you can look inwards into table tennis and look at your athletes, yung talagang sobrang dazzling na mag-back and forth ng kanilang sport, yung kanilang skills, no? And then, probably, stage an afternoon event na pag face-to-face na. Pero
Yes.
pwede rin naman na during this time, pwede rin naman tayong kumilos. I-open lang natin yung mind natin sa possibility. So in terms of table tennis, ayan, mag-exhibition ng mga tricks sa mga ganyan-ganyan ng paddle ng table tennis. And then, samahan ninyo ng marketing nga, samahan ninyo ng mga table tennis players nyo na magaling palang kumanta, magaling palang sumayaw. So may put on a show na ang is table tennis, a table tennis afternoon or something. You can even do it online and then mag-sell kayo ng tickets. Kahit konti-konti lang, 10,000 lang naman pala gusto And then, don't forget na i-target yung mga nanay dyan, yung mga kamag-anak. Tapos yung tinanong kanina ni Sir from Camarines Norte, yung daw yung sa kanilang locality.
Yes.
Pwede naman po kayo magpunta doon sa ninyo. Yung, kumbaga doon sa level na gano'n, yung mga local businessmen. Yun naman po ang pwede. Ang gusto lang lagi talaga ng sponsors, exposure. So, if you're going to build your sports facility, arena, or gym, basta ipaskill lang ninyo doon yung pangalan nila. Every day, yung sinasabi kong foot traffic, kung ilang taong dumadaan doon para makita yung brand nila, malaking bagay na yun sa kanila. O every time you're interviewed somewhere, banggitin lang mo sila lagi. I think they will appreciate that. And they will be willing to part with funds that way. Pero nasa sa inyo yun how you package it. Kasi you will adjust it to your local situation. Pati yung sinabi ni Mr. Cruz na sponsorship, wala pa.
Yes.
Open mind. Yun din po. Basta lagyan lang nyo sila ng mga signs o gumawa kayo ng isang tarp sa inyong lugar, wherever. Lagyan nyo lahat doon ng tumulong. Para
Tama.
Simbahan, di ba yung sa simbahan para mag-donate ng mga upuan doon, nilalagay ang pangalan ng donor.
Yes, so be creative.
Be creative lang. Mag-isip lang kayo na maipamahagi ninyo sa iba yung tulong na ibinigay niya sa inyo. And then, always let them know that they're important, that you will consider them your long-term partners, lalo na yung mga unang nagtumulong sa inyo na kumbaga sabihin natin, nag-lay ng foundation ninyo na hindi maliit pa lang kayo, tinutulungan na kayo, then bibigyan ninyo sila ng special treatment. Ganun lang po. Tingin ko.
Yes. Thank you. Isa pang question bago ulit tayo tumawag ng personal na magtatanong. In this time of pandemic, Professor Tessa, what can you advise on how to approach the sponsorship considering po that the leagues and businesses are scarce and down right now because of COVID-19?
Yun nga, malaking problema din yan. Kasi kahit yung mga sponsorships na existing na, merong iba na nag-stop na.
Sobrang challenge. Yes, ma'am?
Oo, yun. Merong iba na nag-stop na ng sponsorship nila. May iba naman na nag-tone down. So, challenge talaga siya. But how do you reach them? Well, syempre, ang gagamitin natin ngayon, yung mga media na makakaabot sila, usually, either email yan or kaibiganin ninyo sila sa Facebook para ma-reach ninyo sila. Make use of the available media now, which is social media din. That's the way to reach them. Pero the more important question, how do you make them donate something? So, pwede mo naman sila munang in kind, kung hindi nila ma-afford ang cash, in kind, or siguro make them promise that they will support you when times are better. At least, meron ka na magiging plano for the future.
Okay. So, who's next? Pili tayo na magtatanong. Okay, si Mr. Russell, BNHS. Good afternoon po, Mr. Russell.
Bale, maraming salamat sa ating magaling na speaker, si Ma'am Tess. Sa akin, Ma'am, ay gusto ko sana maitama din ako ni Ma'am Tess, baka mali din ako. And siguro parang sharing na rin para makakapulot yung iba at lalo na ako doon sa magiging about this sinasabi natin mga sponsorship. Kasi ang sa akin nakikita ko dito is lalo na sa mga basic or sa mga games na hindi nga masyadong popular. So nagkakaroon tayo talaga ng problema sa sponsorship kasi po hindi nga siya popular. Ano nga po? So ngayon, sa akin po kasi parang ibinabalik ko rin sa katulad natin mga coaches at saka trainer kung talagang decided tayo doon sa ganong klase ng mga malaking tulong na maibigay natin sa mga players is ang isa siguro magandang step may talagang maipakita natin na o mabigyan natin ng award. Ano po? Ibig ko sabihin ay pag nakikita kasi ng community na talaga nadidevelop yung ating mga bata, tapos may mga awards tayong nakukuha, mabilis humingi ng sponsorship. Kung pakitama na lang po ako kung mali po. Kasi po kahit maliit na bagay, kahit sabihin natin good luck lang yung binigay sa atin ng isang sponsor, kumbaga halimbawa ay ang isang or kahit sa LGU, ma'am, halimbawa kung ginudlak lang tayo tapos bumalik tayo sa kanila na may panalo, sa palagay ko tapos yun nga sabi kanina meron tayong tarpaulin, include natin sila sa tarpaulin, sa palagay ko hindi na siya mahirap humingi sa sunod. Ano po? Kasi nakita nila na marunong tayong tumanaw ng utang na loob. Kahit sa maliit na bagay, kahit sa sabi nga moral support lang yun na ibigay sa atin, marunong pa rin tayong tumanaw ng utang na loob. And I think yung ganung mga klase ng pagkakataon, mabibigyan tayo ng gabay. Ano po? Mabibigyan tayo ng support, hindi lang yung mga coaches, pati yung mga sports natin, maging maliit man o malaki. Siyempre po, nakasalalay pa rin sa magiging performance ng mga coaches, siyempre nangunguna. Ganun din ng mga bata, kung paano tayo tutulungan din ng community. Maraming salamat po.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Russell Mauhay, BNHS, sa inyong reaction. From Philippine Judo Federation muna ako, Jowa siya. From Mr. Emir Reyes, what other benefits the sponsors may get by sponsoring a particular sport beside branding?
Exposure sa media, local media or social media. Like isa sa mga pinapangako namin would be I'll cite a specific example. Meron kasing isang bagong sponsor yung UP Fighting Maroons. Dog food. Ang pangalan niya Top Breed. Isa siya sa mga brands ni Robina ng Robinsons. So, isipin mo paano magiging paano susuporta ang dog food sa isang basketball team. So, doon ka mag-iisip ng So, isa sa mga ginawa itong si Coach Bo Perasol, yun yung head coach ng UP, meron pala siyang mga aso, pero mga Shih Tzu lang. Na yung by lang, I don't mean na hindi magandang aso yun, kundi hindi sila yung Rottweiler, German Shepherd, pero mukhang mga sweet ba na mga aso. Anyway, gumawa sila ng video na si Coach Bo, kunyari, naka-huddle siya, meron siyang binibigay na directions, tapos, alright, fight. Pero yung nag-fight, yung mga aso niya, yung tumakbo yung mga aso niya. Tapos yun, gumawa ng video nun, in-upload sa social media. So, merong branding dahil lumabas doon yung Isa pa na ginawa nila for that particular sponsor, nagkaroon ng parang hindi dog show kundi parang meron kasi sa UP Diliman na comfort dogs. Na during the pandemic, yung parang may mga dogs sila na ginather na nagbibigay ng yung para sa mga may sakit o yung mga depressed, therapy dogs ang tawag doon. So, ginather sila, tapos tinreat sila nung Top Breed na parang binigyan sila ng libreng bakuna, tapos may mga feeding programs, binigyan sila ng mga donations, yung mga owners, may mga centers doon na nag-care sa dogs. And then, we came out with a story of that doon sa media. Inirelease namin sa dyaryo, online. So, inaano siya ng mga, pinipick up siya ng mga Rattler, ganyan, CNN.
Tama. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Ma'am, from LGU Tayabas, ang question niya, is there any specific guidelines allowing prohibiting the LGU to seek partnership with the private sector? May alam ka ba, ma'am? Prohibition?
No specific guidelines naman. Basta ang key move na gagawin ninyo is first talaga to identify. So, kumbaga mag-wish list na ang mga LGU, ang mga NSA, ang mga leagues or teams, mag-wish list na, or hit, better yatang tawagin imbis na wish list ay hit list. Mag-hit list na kayo ng kung sinong pwede nyong lapitan. And then from there, aralin nga ninyong mabuti kung anong klase silang brand or partner or ano yung nature ng business nila or service nila. And then, imagine niyo how you can contribute to them in the conduct of their business or in the giving of their services. Because from there, you can now make a proposal. So talagang you'll have to sit down and brainstorm about how to reach these people and how to excite them about your team, about your sports group or athlete. Hanapan mo talaga eh. Pupunutan mo ng mga classes, mostly classes.
Yes. Okay, this one is from Jem Valeriano. What is the most uncommon sports partnership you have encountered that became successful, ma'am? Meron ba? Uncommon.
Siguro isa na nga yan, top breed na yan kasi dog food eh.
Yeah.
Medyo ano na yun. Meron ka pa ba na isip?
Meron pa ba?
Wala akong maisip at naman na mental blank ako.
Pero yun na, pinaka isa, ano, yung dog food na yun. Okay, so maraming salamat sa mga nagtanong. Alam ko marami pang gusto magtanong, but of course, we're running out of time. So eto na po yung recap natin. Indeed, a very informative session, engaging session with Professor Tessa and of course, all our participants, almost 450. We realize the value and importance of sports marketing, especially in our setup, where, of course, the NSAs and other groups need to tap private sector and likewise need to market their sports to find ways to fund their activities and their projects. Since, of course, we know for a fact our government cannot support all of them or all of us. Professor Tessa stressed that sports is big. This is not only about the athletes and the fans, but this is about everybody. Sports' massive popularity is because of sports marketing. And sports marketing is the promotion of sports events, of the teams, and of course, yung pong promotion din ng mga products and services through sports events and the teams or the organization. And then, sabi ni Ma'am Tessa, sports marketing is a game changer, a kind of change that is definitely good, di ba? Dahil nga sports marketing made sports a more popular and very powerful vehicle to reach and influence people. And this refutes some perception that marketing taints the purity or originality of sports, di ba? Yun ang sinabi ni Ma'am. So, sports is power pala, ha? Anyway, there are expressions of sports marketing, the personalities, the team branding, the on-site branding, the event ownership and activations. Tapos yun na nga, mahalaga ha, yung three major players of sports marketing. The sports, the organization, which include the league, the school, the team, and the athlete, and of course, the fans. Tapos may perfect relationship itong mga players na ito ng sports marketing. And that's the symbiotic relationship of all players, the sponsor who spend money to gain exposure and reach target audience, and then the organization which looking for funding, the fans who crave to enjoy more and the games, and of course their idols, and of course yung media din who would want to cover more events, di ba? And write more events. And then yung importance pa ng sports marketing, nakakaiba sa ibang klase ng marketing because iba yung dating nito eh. There is that feeling of family, the family feeling in sports marketing dahil nga po yung connection ng sports ng atletas sa mga fans nito eh para talagang matindi ano. May family feeling na sila doon at doon talaga papasok na yung kanilang pagtangkilik sa isang brand o doon nga sa sponsor. So, in all, win-win situation for every organization. Of course, every organization, just like what we said earlier, we need and we should have sports marketing. We should do sports marketing to have funding so that the athletes or the NSA administrator would have less pressure or less stress dahil meron na siyang pondo. Hindi na sasakit ang ulo niya para pa maghanap, di ba? Eh, talagang magkaroon tayo ng sports marketing. Tapos yun namang sponsor would be happy enough because it will get enough exposure and I'm sure enough revenue na rin in a way. So happy lahat, ano? Win-win situation for all. So indeed, a very productive and very informative session with Professor Tessa Hasmines. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Very great honor for me to be doing this with you and with the Philippine Sports Commission.
Again, maraming salamat po for the very cohesive open forum and session synthesis sa ating po moderator, Ms. Judith Caringel, and to our guest speaker, Professor Tessa Hasmines. Again, as we said earlier, for those questions po that were not answered sa ating pong open forum, that will all be included sa atin pong data processing and wala pong data na nasasayang, wala pong effort na naiisip po ninyo, wala pong nasasayang on this session. And we will now take this time and to honor and award the Certificate of Appreciation to our fourth speaker for Phase 1 National Sports Summit. And to award the certificate to Professor Tessa Hasmines, may I call our PSC Commissioner Celia Kiram to award the Certificate of Appreciation.
Okay, Joas, we will award the Certificate of Appreciation. On behalf of the Philippine Sports Commission, we would like to present the Certificate of Appreciation to Professor Maria Teresa Hasmines for her invaluable contribution as a resource speaker for the Value of Sports Marketing session of Sports Conversation, the first phase of the National Sports Summit 2021. Given this day of February 18, 2021 via Zoom, signed by Chairman William I. Ramirez.
All right. Maraming salamat po, Commissioner Celia. And this closes our first batch of the National Sports Summit. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, everyone. God bless and stay safe.